Damn, do I look good and green. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Makes my boobs look bigger. They don't need any help there. Hey there, folks. I am the Mighty Plantain, and thanks for checking out this video. We're looking at a local Maine brew this time. This is Kerplunk. It's a blueberry sour from Lake St George Brewing Company. Nice and canned up. The wife and I went to Lake St George Brewing not too long ago. Nice place. Nice place. They got a decent setting. Off the beaten path just a little bit, but it's they got a good tap room. They had some really decent brews. The Kerplunk blueberry sour was not on tap, but based on the other brews that they had, I'm looking forward to this one. Should be pretty good. I'm wondering just how blueberry it is, though. And sours have been getting more and more popular lately. Oh, I was hoping for that. Not to interrupt myself, which I just did, but sours have been getting more and more popular lately, and it tends to need a lot of fruit to tamp down the beeriness so that the sour comes through. And that's why I was hoping for the color of this beer to be what it is. A lot of blueberry beers and a lot of sours wind up being very pale and yellow, but this, you can tell they obviously threw a lot of fruit in there to fruit it up and sour it up, which means this is going to be less, I'm assuming here, this is going to be less beery and more of a sour, fruity brew. Slightly cloudy, very effervescent, but that is just a lovely, lovely and interesting color. You can see how there's a lot of the blueberry is just mixing with the pale yellow beer that they paired it with, and just giving it that, I don't know, it's an interesting, almost a cherry color. I don't know, that's not right, but it's more of a reddish or purplish than I would have expected, but definitely not blue. There's some flecks in there too, which means the cloudiness is probably due to some particulates. Can't really see anything down inside the can. Oh, there's definitely some particulates on the bottom, though. So, said it before and I'll say it again, I'm not really a big fan of finding flecks in my beer, but I'm starting to get over that. A lot of IPAs with particulates suspended in it wind up being really good. Fruity beers, similar story. It's just kind of more flavor there. There's something up with the aroma. The aroma is actually a little bit off-putting, which is interesting. There's almost an odd dankness to it, and I don't mean like a hoppy dankness. I mean like a moldy fruit dankness. But again, that's just the aroma. That's not necessarily an indicator of where this beer's going. But right, I personally, for me, aesthetically speaking, I'm not a fan of the aroma, and I don't like seeing the flecks floating around in it. But like I said, they've got some other really great beers, so I'm sure this is, just me not liking certain aspects of it. I haven't even tasted it yet, so here goes. And that's definitely a sour beer. I'm not getting any kind of thickness or nastiness from the particulates, which is good. It's got a nice medium to medium light mouthfeel. Up front, it hits you with very, very, very sour. And then it fades to a nice blueberry flavor. A light blueberry flavor Nothing really beery coming through, though. I mean, you can tell it's a beer, but it's kind of almost in the finish and the aftertaste. You're just getting that general beeriness. No real hop notes, just a brewed maltiness. Quite sour, though, up front. And then there's this nice, sweet, fruity blueberry flavor right in the middle as you're swallowing, and as it rolls off the palate, and then it finishes with this really light, malty character. So I'm liking it. I give this a 3.5 out of 5. Now, I've said this a lot of times in a lot of different videos, but on a scale of 1 to 5, a 2.5 is average, so I am putting this beer slightly above average. Compared to other sours, there's nothing about it that's really blowing me away, but I can see how this would have a nice... oh, excuse me. A nice wide appeal. A lot of people are going to like this. I'm a big fan of it. If you're out doing brewery tours, you can hit Lake St George and Liberty Craft Brewing all in one day, by the way. A nice little day trip. You can do both of those and probably hit the two in Skowhegan while you're out there. Well, not the two, but two of the Skowhegan breweries, Bigelow and OPB. Out of those four I mentioned, Liberty's got a really nice setting, really nice view, but once it starts getting dark, make your way over to Bigelow. Bigelow's great at night. It's actually a family-friendly atmosphere. You can take your kids. They've usually got live music, a fire going, and they got a cornhole game last I knew. They do brick oven pizza. It's a great destination. But anyway, enough about that. We're talking about Lake St George Brewing here. So again, a 3.5 out of 5. Great beer, but I think when I was talking about the brewery tours, my intent was, if you're traveling with a companion who's not necessarily a big beer fan, this is a good, solid beer for them to check out, because the fruity beers and sours tend to go over well with folks who aren't big beer drinkers. So, that's where I was going with that. Took a bit of a roundabout route to get there, but yeah, decent beer, very solid, slightly above average. I would definitely recommend it, but that's just what I think. Hit me up down in the comments, the email link down below. I'd like to hear what you have to say about it, whether you agree or disagree. While you're down there, make sure to click on the like and share buttons. Like the video, share it. Pardon. The more attention I get, the happier I am. And definitely subscribe. When you subscribe, you'll get a notification whenever I post a new video. Until next time, folks, thanks for checking this one out. Cheers.